In this section, again, we are still on uses and abuses of percentages. In this video, we're going to solve problems 9, 10, and 11. So problem 9, the final cost of your shoes is $107.69. Now, how do we calculate the final cost? There is a pre-tax cost, and we add the tax on that particular amount. And the final cost is the pre-tax cost plus the tax. So the local sales tax is 6.2%. So if the pre-tax price is 100%, the tax is calculated on the pre-tax price, and it comes up to 6.2% off the pre-tax price. So if the pre-tax price is 100, then 6.2 is the tax added on to it. So the final cost is 106.2% off the pre-tax price. So 106.2% off the retail price, which is also the pre-tax price. They've called it retail, which is the same as pre-tax. So 106.2% off the retail price is the final cost. So let's convert that into an equation as usual. So 106.2% off translates to multiplication. The retail price, let's just call it RP for now, equals the final cost FC. 106.2% is 106.2 divided by 100 off translates to time. The retail price is equal to the final cost, which is 107.69. So we know the final cost of your shoes. So 106.2%, if we had to convert it to a decimal number, we can just use a calculator, and it's easier to just shift the decimal places, the decimal point 2 places to the left, and that makes it 1.062 times the retail price is equal to 107.69. So now we need to find the retail price or the pre-tax price of your shoes, which means we need to solve for the retail price. We need to get retail price by itself, which means we need to get rid of the number 1.062 that is multiplied with it. The only way to get rid of a number multiplied to the unknown value is by dividing both sides of the equation with the exact same number. So we divide the left side by 1.062 and the right side by 1.062 as well. So that cancels the 1.062 on the left, leaving us with what we wanted, just the retail price. And that is equal to, when we simplify this number, we get 101.40. So if your shoe has a retail price of 101.40, which is the pre-tax price, when we add the tax on, the final cost is what is given to us, which is 107.69. So the next problem, problem 10. The number of housing foreclosures in 2008 was 3.98 million. So that's the number of foreclosures in 2008, up 81% over the year 2007. So the foreclosures in 2008 were 3.98 million more than the foreclosures in 2007. So we need to calculate how many foreclosures were there in 2007. So we just repeating the same statement, foreclosures in 2008 were 81% more than in 2007. So foreclosures in 2008 were 100%, which is the foreclosures in 2007, plus 81% because it says it's 81% more than. So that's the reason why we add the 81% of the foreclosures in 2007. So foreclosures in 2008 is equal to 181%. So 100 plus 81 is 181% of the foreclosures in 2007. So if we don't know what the foreclosures in 2007 are, then we write it as X. The foreclosures in 2008 are given to be 3.98 million, and that is equal to 181%, so the fraction is 181 over 100, of the unknown, which is the foreclosures in 2007. So we get the equation 3.98 equals 1.81 times X. Now we need to solve for X because X is the quantity we're interested in. X is the number of foreclosures in 2007. So X is equal to 3.98 over 1.81, and we get this by dividing both sides by 1.81. Using the calculator, this simplifies to 2.1989, which is approximately equal to, so this is the symbol for approximately equal to, 2.20 million. So foreclosures in 2007 were 2.20 million. And the foreclosures in 2008 were 81% over 2.20 million, and it makes sense that the foreclosures in 2008 were about 3.98 million. So in problem 11, you're earning a certain amount of money. You receive a pay raise of 5%. So your pay increases by 5%, and consequently, you receive a pay cut of 5%. So the first step is a pay raise of 5%, and then the second step is that you get a pay cut of 5%. After the two changes in your pay, your salary is unchanged. State whether the following statements are true or false and explain why. If the statement is false, state the true reason. So here, how does one conclude that the salary is unchanged? So basically, this is the calculation that they were probably doing. A pay cut would mean plus 5%. I'm sorry, a pay raise would mean plus 5%, and a pay cut would mean a minus 5%. So therefore, the net effect is plus 5 minus 5, which is equal to 0, so your salary remains unchanged. So we want to check the truth in this statement by doing our own calculations. It's a little more complicated than just adding and subtracting a 5%, and that's what you're going to see. Suppose your salary is something, and we're going to call it S dollars. So the first thing that happens is you receive a 5% raise. It's a 5% of your present salary. So now your salary is 100% plus a 5%. So that is, your salary now is 105% of what you were earning, which is S. So the 105% comes from 100% plus a 5%, which means your original salary plus a 5% off your original salary. So that is 105 over 100 off. So that is 105 over 100 times S, which is your salary. So we've interpreted that word off as multiplication. So the next thing that happens to you, so after you've got a 5% pay raise, your salary is this 105 over 100 times S. Whatever that number is, that's your salary. Now, the next thing that happens is that you receive a 5% pay cut. And the question is 5% of what? The minute we say it's a 5% pay cut, it is 5% off what your present salary is, which is 105 over 100 times S. So your present salary is 100% minus a 5% off your present salary. So your present salary is 95%, so the difference is 95 off, it's 95% off what you're earning at that time. So this is equal to 95% times what you were earning, which is 105 over 100 times S. When we simplify the numbers, we keep S the way it is. We combine all the numbers using a calculator, and we get the salary at this moment after the 5% pay raise and then the 5% pay cut. This is your final salary after the two changes. It's 0.9975 times S. Now, we need to think in terms of percentages. So we convert the decimal, which is 0.9975, to a percent. So 0.9975 equals 0.9975 times 100%. And that's how we calculate a percent. We just multiply it with 100%. So simplifying the numbers in the parentheses, we get 99.75%. So basically that amounts to shifting the decimal point 2 places to the right. That's what multiplication by 100 does. So it's 99.7%. That's where we get the 99.7% off, so multiplied by the salary that you started off with before any of these changes. So after the two changes, what you'll notice is that your present salary is 99.75% of your initial salary before any of the changes happened, and that is S. So your present salary is a little less than what you were earning initially because it's not 100% of S, it's 99.75% of S. So how much less is the question? So we subtract 99.75 from 100 to get 0.25%. So your salary has changed, even if it's by a very small percentage. So your present salary is 0.25% less than the original salary that you started with that we called S. So the question said that after a 5% increase and a 5% decrease in your salary must remain unchanged. And we've proved that it's not the case. Your salary is now 0.25%. It's a very small amount, but it's still less than the original salary as. So when the question says that the salary is unchanged, we've just seen that is not true. There is a slight change. Your salary is slightly less than what you started with, which is S. So there's a slight decrease.